Robert, please help me. He said he had candy. I don't want to taste his lollipops.
Give me rent.
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Look at this damn emptiness. It doesn't feel right talking to you while I can do this. It's been a real hassle moving homes and getting everything packed away. I just want to thank all you out there who have been real patient with my channel. Sorry I haven't been uploading as much. I promise when everything gets settled, I will spam your inbox with so many videos you'll hate me. So with that said, let's go ahead and pick the green screen so we can get on to all the great movie news we got to discuss here today. This one comes from Basti Bacon, who... This is like the most popular request. You all think you're so clever. The background should just be the background of your current studio for the nostalgia. I think there's no better time for this one than when my desk is empty. Does it feel homey? Does it remind you of something? I'm glad. But we actually do have a pretty damn packed side flick, so I might actually just be busting through the news so fast here just to bring as much information as possible. So be sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about here today is, of course, a Spider-Man update now, giving us a better idea of when we can see this trailer. Some horror movie updates with the Hellraiser reboot, Zack Snyder talking about Army of the Dead 2, Willy Wonka origin story, even Powerpuff Girls. So much coming your way. You know the drill. Comment down below. Let's jump into the first story. So the first thing I want to talk about is, even if there's a packed side flick, I still want to bring you a movie you might not have heard about, but I think has an interesting premise. And we have it here being reported that Robert Kirkman's Hardcore is getting a movie adaptation from Godzilla vs. Kong director Adam Wingard. Now, if you don't know the name Robert Kirkman, that's okay, but you most likely have seen his work because the man is responsible for not only The Walking Dead, but Invincible. He's the great man who wrote those comic book series that then got adaptations made that everyone seemed to really like. So it would only make sense that another one of his comic book properties being brought to life, Hardcore, would also be beloved. If you don't know anything about this story, let me read it to you. It goes as, imagine being able to take over the body of anyone on Earth. Sounds crazy. Not for Agent Drake and the Hardcore program. They can turn any person into a human drone to get a target that normal soldiers can't. Drake is the best soldier Hardcore has to offer, but then he gets stranded in a body with only 72 hours to discover who hijacked the program. He'll have to pull out all stops against the enemy, who could be literally anyone, from the creative mind of Robert Kirkman. I think that's pretty cool. So you're basically able to swap bodies with whoever, and they use this to kill people or get targets, but then when you swap to someone's body and like, all right, send me back, you're stuck there and you have no idea who your enemy is because they could just hijack anybody. I think that has the makings to be really unique. Adam Wingard is just getting all the damn movies right now, and probably the only reason this is happening is because of how successful Invincible is and people liking Robert Kirkman stuff. You guys hear about Hardcore getting a movie with Adam Wingard. Are you excited for it, or are you gonna skip this one? Moving on to some horror movie news here. We have a couple of movies to talk about. First one I wanted to get off the bat here is the Hellraiser reboot. Some of you know there is currently a reboot in the works for good old Pinhead, which Sasuke? Haven't packed him away yet. Well, yeah, Spyglass Media, the same company who's currently working on the Scream 5 movie, is also doing a Hellraiser reboot, and this is a reboot. It's not a secret sequel or anything like that. It's literally going back and making their own first beginning. Well, we got some unfortunate news in my opinion. Yes, it's still happening, but Spyglass went ahead and sold the rights to the movie to Hulu. So anybody who was really excited about watching the new Hellraiser reboot on the big screen in theaters where you'd have a packed house, enjoy it with your friends in the future, past the pandemic, it doesn't look like that's how you'll be enjoying the Hellraiser reboot. Instead, you'll have to watch it on Hulu. This just kind of sucks, but it's becoming the new norm, especially after the pandemic, where some movies are just not worthy of going to theaters and end up just in streaming. This might also be happening because earlier we heard that the Hellraiser reboot was in jeopardy because Clive Barker, the original creator of Hellraiser, was suing for the rights. So this could be them just trying to earn as much money from this reboot before they have to give the property back. And the last time something like that happened was with the Pet Sematary movie. Stephen King was yearning for the rights, so they made that movie hella fast, and we saw how that turned out. You guys hear about the Hellraiser reboot going to Hulu. How does that make you feel? Jumping on to another horror movie I'm very much looking forward to, we have Escape Room 2. Now, if you guys have not watched the first Escape Room, yes, it's technically like a diet version of the Saw movies where people get put in these escape rooms, but of course they're deadly and they have to figure their way out. The first one actually kind of surprised me because I found it enjoyable until the last 10 minutes with that weird-ass ending. But the set pieces were amazing. I thought the characters were cool. The setup of the universe was nice. I wanted to see a sequel, and thank goodness they got one. We even have the title for it and some first look photos. The title for this second escape room movie is going to be called Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Essentially, what will be happening in this movie is all the previous winners of different escape rooms are now brought into this one escape room to try and survive. You have the returning cast members of the survivors of the first escape room, who I'm glad they're doing this and not just bringing in a whole new team of people. And you also know in the movie they're going to show flashbacks to how each one of them probably won their own version of their escape rooms. Like, this could be a really fascinating world. Rumor has it that the trailer is actually supposed to come out this Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. But I want to know from you horror fans out there, does Escape Room 2, even though this is a PG-13 horror franchise, does that excite you? Speaking of something that isn't PG-13, but very much in line with the horror genre, we have Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead that recently released on Netflix. I know a lot of people went ahead and saw it. It was like #1 trending on Netflix. I had a good time with the movie. I enjoyed the world Zack Snyder built. I got a ton of comments from you guys that hated the film, and I can understand with that ending, but not every film has a happy ending. Well, we have Zack Snyder right here talking about his plans for the second Army of the Dead movie. So if you haven't seen Army of the Dead yet and you're planning to, you might want to skip this story till the next one. But here is what Zack Snyder had to say about the second movie. He goes, "Shay and I know exactly what happens next, and it's insane. I'd make it in a second. What we have planned is too crazy. Once we knew Vanderhorn was bit and he was going to Mexico City, I was like, you know what's going to happen. And then I just went on a tear. And by the time it ended, Shay was like, okay." This Army of the Dead world is trying to be expanded like so much by Netflix. Not only are we getting a prequel entitled Army of Thieves, that's going to focus on the guy who was cracking the safe, and like a prequel to, like, I guess his heist, so really nothing to even do with zombies. And then there's like an anime in the works that gives you the backstories of all the soldiers. I don't know how interested I am in that side of things, but in a direct sequel to the story he was telling, I want to see that, because I don't know if you guys have been seeing some of the fan theories online. Posted a TikTok about it if you want to know. But fans have noticed some crazy things that involve time loops, aliens, robot zombies. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Other than that, I think the story is obvious. Just how they created a quarantine area of Vegas, all of Mexico will probably become the new quarantine area, and that's where the zombie apocalypse is now. But you guys hear that Zack Snyder wants to do an Army of the Dead 2. Would you want to watch it, or were you just not a fan of the movie? Speaking of something that a lot of people in the film community were not a fan of, we have here Deadline finally casting their new Willy Wonka for their Wonka origin story. Deadline reports that Timothée Chalamet to play Willy Wonka in new origin tale for Warner Bros. Yeah, if you didn't know, they're currently working on a Willy Wonka prequel that'll tell you the origin story of Willy Wonka and how he became the man to kidnap these Oompa Loompas and force them to make chocolate. The interesting thing to note about this is there was two frontrunners for this role, Timothée Chalamet and Tom Holland. How could Tom Holland not have gotten this role? I just wanted to see all the angry fanboys when Tom Holland got cast as the Wonka Man. But although we all kind of laugh at this idea and think it's crazy, hey, the only reason I'm giving this a silver lining of hope is because it's being directed by Paul King, who brought us the Paddington movies. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance just for the man who gave me some Paddington in my life. Other things you can expect from this Wonka origin story is that it will have musical elements. It'll see Timothée Chalamet singing and dancing, so we'll see. They're trying to set this up to be another Oscar-type film, so they're wanting to take the source material seriously as much as you can for something like this. Are you guys looking forward to Willy Wonka and Timothée Chalamet being cast in this? Man, it is just a non-stop thrill ride of controversial news, because I have to talk about the live-action Powerpuff Girls. You guys know here on the channel, I've kind of been getting hyped for this Powerpuff Girls series on the CW. Yes, I know it's on the CW, but Powerpuff Girls was my jam, and we just recently got some horrible news for the project. It's being reported that the pilot that they shot for this live-action Powerpuff Girls show, where it's the girls in their late 20s, depressed and upset that they spent their childhoods fighting crime, and now we're following them in adulthood. The pilot that they shot was so bad that they're gonna go back and refilm it and change things around. Let me just remind you, the channel CW that makes Riverdale and a bunch of other cringy content saw the pilot for the Powerpuff Girls and was like, Yeah, we gotta start over. Like, that should let you know how bad that was. I know some people just want this canceled or not even to happen, but the curiosity in me is spiking. I want to know what's going down in this. I'm curious to see it, and I think the only reason they're gonna give it another shot to refilm an entire pilot is because they saw the buzz and people just talking about it. Every time something Powerpuff Girl came up, people were just making it trending online. So there's an audience wanting to see this. But you guys hear that the Powerpuff Girl pilot was so bad that they have to redo it. How does that make you feel? Alright, let's talk about some Spider-Man No Way Home, because there have just been so much rumbling that a trailer is imminent. You guys might have seen a lot of other nice YouTubers make videos saying that a trailer's coming, that something's up and coming, but it doesn't seem that close. The main reason people are feeling this way is because, well, a couple of international accounts of Spider-Man No Way Home, and man, if you have been following the Spider-Man No Way Home news, you know these international accounts be slipping. Those accounts have been changing their main banners to say Spider-Man No Way Home, and usually that happens when they're about to release a trailer. The other thing people are noticing is that they've gone ahead and started selling Spider-Man No Way Home merch on Amazon and Disney shops where it's just literally the logo. So that must mean a trailer is coming soon, especially with Eternals just giving us a trailer. I think one is coming, but not in the next couple of weeks. The realistic date of when we're getting the Spider-Man trailer, if we're being rational here, it's kind of easy to pick when the date of this trailer will come out, especially because the reason they dropped an Eternals trailer is because this same week we have A Quiet Place 2 and Cruella coming out. Those are going to be relatively big movies at the box office, so Disney wanted to put that in front of those faces. So for Spider-Man No Way Home, Sony will either drop it between the weeks of June 25th or all the way to July 9th. Now, the reason I give you those dates is because June 25th is when we have Fast and Furious 9 coming out, and we know that's a huge franchise. So that beginning Monday, they could drop the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. If not, we have to have a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer by the time Black Widow comes out. It would only make sense that Sony would want to push for that to happen because that's directly their audience in the theater, and that would be the 6-month mark. That is the rule of thumb of when trailers come out for big blockbuster movies since the film comes out in December. So you might still be hearing every day YouTubers come out and say trailer, 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 when it's like, just stick to these dates and we will be golden. The other thing I definitely wanted to talk about that I didn't see a lot of people discussing concerning Spider-Man No Way Home is Murphy's Multiverse, that has been a reliable source here on the channel, went ahead and confirmed that visual effects artists who worked on Amazing Spider-Man and in the Sam Raimi trilogy, those same visual effects people are coming in to work on Spider-Man No Way Home. And as I'm saying that, let me also tell you, those same visual effects people have never worked on any other Marvel movie or Spider-Man film than the ones I mentioned. It's kind of weird that they're bringing them in for this film, but also super exciting because I think Amazing Spider-Man has the best visual effects in any Spider-Man film. Even the current Spider-Man films with Disney right here, I still think Amazing Spider-Man looks amazing. And we can't forget how iconic Sam Raimi's Spider-Man universe looks. Like, I think those effects still hold up to this day. Whether you want to believe the Spider-Verse is happening or not, it looks like they are wanting to make sure if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are showing up, they look the way they are supposed to according to their universes. Now, even if it's not the Spider people involved, I've seen some people make a good argument for what this could mean. Maybe they're bringing in the visual effects people because, well, they have the villains from the multiverse coming in, so it could be those visual effects people doing the VFX for Jamie Foxx's Electro or Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2, which, like I said, I think those effects still hold up. That train fight scene, they could just bring them in so they could do the effects for them since they know how they should move and interact. When do you guys think we'll actually get the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, and what do you think about these visual effects teams coming in to work on Spider-Man No Way Home? Suspicious? But that is the jam-packed episode of Side Flick I have for you guys. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It goes a long way. Again, thank you for being patient with me while I make this move. You guys are fantastic, and I will see you on the next one.